If you noticed my post earlier, I asked a question. What is your relationship with money? And I told you that I was going to be making a video later about money versus God. It was an interesting prompt that came up for me today, and I was thinking about it, and how often have you heard that money is the root of all evil? How often have you believed that money is the root of all evil? How often has it been told to you by people who are supposedly spiritual and God-loving people that money is bad, yet at the same time the churches ask for handouts? Why is that? Why is it that we are simultaneously told that money is bad and also told that we need to pony it up? It doesn't make sense to me, and I feel like it doesn't make sense to a lot of you out there either. I feel like a lot of us are stuck in this idea of, well, I can't make it work for me because, money's bad, because I'm wanting to aspire to be spiritual and to live a life of goodness in my heart and, peace and love for humankind and all of this kind of stuff. And we think that having money is like the antithesis of that, because we see corrupt officials out there in the world stage, being completely crooked and completely malevolent. But is it really the money that's corrupting them? Is it really all of these things that we're tying with these evil people? Is money the problem? And in my honest opinion, I don't feel like it is. I feel like money is just a magnifier of what's already going on inside of a person, who that person has already chosen to be. And I've seen an equal amount of wealthy people be completely malicious to their fellow neighbor, as well as I've seen completely poor people be malicious. So money has nothing to do with it. I wrote some thoughts down earlier while I was thinking about what I was going to write for a blog post today, and I just wanted to read off some of them to you. It's my journal. So, the first thought that I wrote down, this is not in any way written, supposed to be in a story format, but it is just sort of bullet pointed. And the first one is that I believe that that humanity has deep wounding in the areas of money and acquiring prosperity. And what I mean by that is there's no doubt that money has been used as a weapon on us as humans on this earth. But as long as we're judging money as being evil, the criminals will always win. Because the problem is that when we're judging it as evil, we don't want to touch it. We don't want to go near it. And so therefore, they can continue conducting business as usual, and there's nobody there to stop them because everybody's off in the woods, being off the grid, and everybody's like, oh, laissez-faire, no, I don't want to touch money because money's evil. The problem comes, though, that there's nobody there challenging them and stirring up the system a little bit. So I think that we create these roadblocks to receiving and use a guise of spirituality to veil over our doubt that we actually really deserve it, that it's bullshit, that all of these really wealthy people on the top have gotten all of the dollars that we have deserved over these years because we've done the labor, we've done the work, we've been the factory workers, we've been the slave labor. And I think that this period of time is one where we are really able to step up and start challenging some of that. And in my honest opinion, I don't feel like challenging that means that we have to completely remove ourselves from it. I feel like we have to get in there, get into the money game, and dirty it up a little bit and start being the change from within. So, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm here to help change humanity. I'm here to help people. There's people out there who are making money, and there's people out there who are doing tremendous things for the world. And what's more important, love or money? That's the question, what's more important, God or money? Can you build a school with love? I mean, can you pay construction workers with love? No, you can't. Money is just a tool of trade. It's exchanging value for value. It's not inherently evil in and of itself. When we start lusting after money and money becomes more important than helping another person, that's where it becomes a problem. But the answer to that is not to renounce money completely, because we still need to trade. And it is just a fact of the matter that this period of time on Earth, we are still using money as our sole means of trade. Some people barter and do things like that, but it's not as widely recognized as being, a method of exchange. So when we actually stop judging money as being so terrible, we see it more as a neutral force. We're more able to actually utilize it for the betterment of humanity, and I'm pretty sure that that's all of you who are watching this video have some part of you who really desire to clean up humanity a bit. When we're judging ourselves and judging money at the same time, nothing gets done. We get stuck in this state of limbo of apathy, and we stifle ourselves and ignore our desire for a more comfortable lifestyle because we feel it's unwholesome to do so. We close off to the idea of more and abundant life because of our hatred and loathing of what we associate with money. We stay contracted in our cocoons of familiarity because we have deemed it unspiritual or unholy to have any desires for money. It's just a magnifier of who the person already is. Money in and of itself is neutral, and it does not harm or hurt on its own. The way my thinking has evolved is in going from a state of fear and extreme concern about money, like it was a complicated dance between hating money and also needing it. So when I would receive it, I would recoil in disgust and blow it immediately. My relationship with money was so severely strained. There was even a point at which I wished I was a nun, so I would be able to take a vow of poverty, so I wouldn't have to touch the stuff. I watched my parents have a feast-famine relationship with it, and it made me never want to become them. So my only option at that point was to renounce it altogether. It didn't dawn on me until later that it wasn't somebody else out there that was making money and abundance evil and undesirable. It was my thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about the stuff that made me freeze with terror when I even contemplated it. It was the government's fault, God's fault, my parents' fault, school's fault, corporations' fault that I was broke. Never was it my fault. It wasn't until I started taking responsibility for my own mindset and victimization about money that I started understanding it a little bit better. It really is just a means of exchange, and we trade it value for value. Yes, I'm aware that our current money system is a fiat currency scam, and it isn't really based on anything valuable like gold like it once was, but that doesn't mean that we have to resign ourselves to the idea of prosperity completely. Why can't we just redefine what it means to us? We are all conditioned to this way of viewing wealthy people as being stingy, ruthless, gluttonous, overindulgent, and generally sinful. It's a very smart trap to keep the good people in line and keeping their heads down because they believe wealthy people have to fuck someone over in order to get somewhere in life. No well-meaning person would ever dream of being abundant if that were the case. Abundance isn't something that we own, it's something that we tune into, and it takes practice, I will tell you that. Abundance is in line with spirituality because the wealth that we acquire can be used for contributing to the world at large. If you don't have the plate of cookies in the first place, how can you share? Like when we bring more wealth into us in our experience, all that's really happening is that we're opening ourselves up to experience a higher amount of energy. We're literally the containers of more energy because money is just energy. I honestly don't believe the answer is in removing ourselves from the system of money making. It's by venturing inside of it and transforming it from within, so the old ways of cheating and scamming people can become utterly obsolete and useless. We can conduct business that benefits all. We can infuse everything we do with the love of others in our hearts. We all deserve to thrive and benefit in all areas of life, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, and emotionally. And we all deserve to be able to do it in a way that resonates with all of us. We shouldn't be having to do something that doesn't jive with us in order to make a buck. Do you know what I'm saying? There's so many ways to make money in this world, and there's so many ways to shoot yourself in the foot trying to do it as well. So, in conclusion of this sort of disparate web of thoughts that I've kind of thrown out here about money and spirituality, I'd like to close with the idea that you are a lot more willing, you are a lot more capable, and you could be a lot more willing to zoom out a little bit and step out of your fear bubble about what you have associated money with. It's just paper. The fact that it is fiat currency should make you feel even more humorous about acquiring and using it. Because, yeah, this is just one life that we're living, and, when we're gone, money won't mean anything. But the experiences that we have in this life and the ability to conduct ourselves with others with the facilitator of money, those experiences make us grow. Those experiences bring us new awareness. And that is the stuff that money can't buy. That is the stuff that you can't put a price on. But money is a facilitator in making it happen. When you travel around the world, it takes the gas for the airplane to go. It takes you being in that seat, paying for that seat, to pay the flight attendant's wage for that week, It takes this exchange, this flow of currency and money to make things happen in our world. And that process isn't a bad one. Money in and of itself, yes, it's fiat money. But aspiring to go after new experiences in life and aspiring to be more and exchange more and give more, that is not a problem. That is not a bad thing. And I think for us as humans, we really need to zoom out and take a look at what we've been telling ourselves unconsciously, largely, because a lot of us believe this stuff because we've been told. We've been told that it's unspiritual to have money. We've been told, no, stop wishing for money, wish not, want not, that kind of thing. And it's crippling us as humans. It keeps us stuck in this idea that we can't ever have anything that we actually desire. When we open up and loosen up a little bit more, we tap in to more of an abundance flow. We tap into, the way that life moves. If the sun didn't give the plants the light in order for photosynthesis to occur, what would happen to the greenery on Earth? If we didn't give the money to, the man at the grocery store for our food, we would starve. We could also grow the food on our own. That's being a producer. That's being more self-sufficient and self-reliant. But most of us don't have that tenacity and will to go out there and be completely self-sustainable. Kudos to you if you do, and you want to create your own little community. But I'm saying that for most people, they're just looking to get by. But it's a really hard time. It's a really, really, really hard way to go about getting by when you're so busy thinking that you can't actually do anything in order to change your life. So that was my rant. Went a little bit over my time that I was thinking about, but yeah, I care a lot about people and humans, and I care a lot about you too. And I just hope that maybe I've sparked something in your mind that, yeah, you really don't have to be so afraid of it. The fear of it is what gives it the negative power that you're so terrified of it having on you. When you're able to step back and just view it as that neutral force, the whole world opens up for you. You can start seeing things with the eyes of gratitude and gratefulness, and you don't have to stop condemning things so much. I mean, you don't have to keep condemning things so much. So, with that said, leave your comments below, and yeah, just tell me your thoughts. You know, I opened a can of worms today because I was not afraid anymore of stepping on anybody's toes, because I feel like this is a conversation that we all need to have. Being spiritual people and people who care about humanity, I care about humanity. So I'm making this video and chalking up, you know, what responses and retorts might come. So leave the comments below.